It's October, which means scaring people, which is one of my absolute favourite things to do. One of my other favourite things to do during Halloween is to read scary books. So today I'm just going to talk about my top 6 favourite scary books that I like to read during Halloween. So one of my all-time favourite scary books would have to be Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare. So this book is written from Kaz's point of view, who is a ghost hunter, and he goes to this town because he hears that there is a ghost called Anna who happens to kill everyone that walks into her home. That is, except for Kaz. This book is one of my all-time favourites. I read this every Halloween, and there are 2 in the series. So you've got Anna Dressed in Blood and then Girl of Nightmares, and it is beautiful and heartbreaking and brutal. I mean, it does not leave much up to the imagination. So I wouldn't recommend it for younger readers who is a bit oozy with blood and guts and all that kind of stuff, because this book has it all. Yes, if you are sound interested in it, then definitely go pick it up. It is a perfect Halloween read. The next book for me would have to be Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom. So I picked this book up last Halloween because the images through this book are super creepy. I thought it would be perfect to read on Halloween, and it really is. So Ransom is written this story from pictures that he found, and it goes together so well. It centres around a young boy called Jacob who went to a remote island just off Wales, and he finds these ruins of this house up on a hill, and basically he figures out that there's these kids that used to live there that were peculiar, but he also realizes that they might have been dangerous as well. So he ends up going through a loop in time and manages to go back to when these children were still living there, and that was back in wartime. And so basically it follows him and meeting these peculiar children and helping them out in such a dangerous time. But it is quite fast-paced, it's good, the writing as well, it flows very easily, but it is also super creepy. Like, the images in here, I'll just find some random ones there, they kind of make you cringe a little bit, but it's definitely a good Halloween read. A third book for me is one that I hadn't actually read yet, so I won't talk about it a lot, but I was recommended to it by Dakota from Magic in Every Book, and it is the Monstrumologist series by Yancey. From what I've heard about these books, they are super creepy, super scary, really in-depth, and don't leave much to the imagination, and that they are perfect spooky reads for Halloween. I will hopefully be getting around to this book soon and leaving a review, but just from reading the blurb on the back, I would say it is wonderfully creepy. Ashes by Ilsa J. Bick makes that list too. It's more of a post-apocalyptic dystopia kind of book, when a kind of electromagnetic pulse just goes across the land here, and the young girl called Alex, who was out hiking, actually gets affected by it, along with everyone else that can hear this electromagnetic pulse. And it affects some kids in some certain ways, so a lot of people just died straight out, didn't make it through the blast. Other ones just suddenly had a craze to kind of eat human flesh where they couldn't talk or anything, and other people would develop kind of superpowers, super hearing, all that kind of stuff. And that's basically what happens in this book. It is brutal and scary and spooky, and I tell you what, like, half the time I was just on the edge of my seat and I just couldn't stop turning pages because I just needed to know what happened. One of my favourite books, great writing, great author, and definitely read this one for Halloween because it is amazing. Lockdown by Alexander Gordon Smith would definitely have to be in this top picks here, because this book is super creepy, scary, and terrifying all at the same time. It's about a boy called Alex who was framed for murder and thrown into the furnace where underage kids go to. It's messed up in the sense that you have no idea what's going on, but there's creepy stuff happening around you. And last but not least, I would have to say The Enemy series by Charlie Higson. This is another one of my favourites, and it is also one of the ones that are really brutal and bloody and gory and just messed up on a whole new level, but amazing at the same time. The writing in this is spectacular, the characters are amazing, and the whole just storyline is wonderful. Like, I wish I thought of something as great as it. So it centers around a group of kids who are leaving from one place to a safe place, which happens to be Buckingham Palace, and it just follows their journey to getting there. It is not for the faint-hearted, and I said that about another one of the books, but seriously, this book is pretty brutal at parts. It's realistic in many ways, where if you fall over, you will most likely get killed. If you're small and weak, you might get picked off pretty easily. It does have a lot of details in there and not much up to your imagination, A lot of parts make me cringe, but it is a good read. I really enjoyed it. So yes. So that's all that I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and that you got some good book recommendations out of that one. I will make sure I put all the links below so you guys can get to them all, and I hope you guys all have a good Halloween. Just remember not to mess with any ghosts, spirits, demons or anything because it is the Day of the Dead. Happy Halloween!